The main question I get about cold email is how to have good deliverability, if different things affect deliverability, and how do I actually land in the main inbox. So I just made a note of the three most important things, your info, your options, and your campaigns to actually have good deliverability. And you could probably label these in different ways, but the actual bullets that I have for each of these sections are really just like the fundamental basics that you need to have for deliverability. And if you follow all of these rules, you don't do anything too crazy, your deliverability should not be an issue. Like it shouldn't be something that you have to worry about too much. To get straight into it, for infrastructure, you want to buy your domains from a reputable source. Most sources you go to would be reputable. Namecheap, GoDaddy, Porkbun, whatever. I use Namecheap. Their security system is kind of annoying. I use Porkbun after that probably. And then for your domains, you need to set up DNS records. So that's an SPF, your DMARC and your DKIM records. If you have an email provider, they would usually do this for you, but make sure that they did. And in Instantly or Smart Lead, you should be able to check if the records are set up. There should be a button just saying like test records, test account setup. Per domain, you get 3 inboxes. So that's like your email account. So if I bought levimunicky.com, I will have levi at levimunicky at levi.municky at. That's my 3 inboxes per domain. From each inbox, we can send 20 to 30 emails per day. If you're buying pre-warmed inboxes, which is a different thing that I won't even really explain, but you do want to send less volume of those. I send 30 emails a day per inbox. Some people do less, so I'm putting 20 to 30. It may be if you want to just be cautious, you can do that. So a lot of people, to set up their email accounts, they'll do Google Workspace. And I would recommend doing G Suite inboxes instead of SMTP or Microsoft. I only use G Suite really, and it's fine. You don't need to do much as like fancy diversification for like, the majority of different people's campaigns. Don't worry about that stuff. But for G Suite inboxes, if you're buying straight from Google, like the Google Business Starter plan or whatever, you're gonna have to set up your SPF, your DMARC, your DKIM, and you're also gonna have to do a POP IMAP and different things to be able to actually get them into Instantly or into Smartly, whatever sending tool you're using. But if you use an email provider like cheapinboxes.com, profmailer.com, there's a ton of different ones, they would do that for you and it's also cheaper. So I would definitely recommend to do that. Now, when you actually set up your inboxes, when you set up your email accounts, those are the same thing, and you get them into your sending tool, you need to warm them up for 2 weeks. So this warm up period, what they're doing is they're sending like fake emails or whatever to other people in the warm up pool to make it seem like they're actually real people or real accounts. So when you get those into the sending tool, instantly, smartly, they'll all have them turn on warm up, and I'm going to go into the warm settings a bit lower, and you have to wait 2 full weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, you don't stop the warm up. You keep it going. You never stop the warm up. And then for accounts, so note this, there's the warm up deliverability, which will say like email score, whatever percent. But then there's also campaign deliverability. That's what really matters. So if your warm up deliverability is bad, then your campaign deliverability is going to be bad. But if your warm up percentage is at 99%, you should still might be landing in spam with your campaign emails. So when I say quarantine bad accounts, I mean when your campaign emails are landing in under 85% inbox, then you're going to want to quarantine them by taking them out of all campaigns and just letting them up for another week or two, and then testing again to see if they're ready. And I'll show you how to test those a bit lower down. So for warm up settings, now I'm not like a deliverability master, but what you'll usually do is about 10 to 20 warm up emails per day, and you ramp that up by 1 to 2 emails per day. If you're actually in your sending tool, you'll see these settings, and then adjust the reply rate to about 30 to 60%. I don't think this matters too much, so you can just have it high. And then you want to do enable slow warm up. So you don't want to start sending 10 to 20 a day off the bat. It's going to go 1, then 2, then 3, 4 a day by day. And that goes in increments of 1 to 2, and that's what this ramp means, ramp by 1 to 2. Then in the emails you're sending and in your signature and in settings, you want no HTML. So text only, no HTML. And instantly this is recommended 100%. You have to click this. Like there's no way around this. That means no images, no videos, no links, no unsubscribe links. That's a huge one that people don't really understand. No unsubscribe links, like none of that. Purely text, like nothing else. And then that's for your initial emails. After they reply to you, you can, yes, you can send a calendar link, you can send stuff, but that's only after they've done an interested reply, because now you're actually talking with the person and it's not just like a spam email sent to them. Then in the settings, you'll see time gap between emails. I usually just, if you do the math, I'll spread this between like over the course of 9 to 12 hours, however long I'm sending for. So it's usually around 12 minutes in between, and then 5 minutes of random additional time. Then, as I was talking about before, inbox placement tests. This is how you test how your campaign deliverability is actually going. So there should be inbox placement tests instantly. It's called, I think, Smart Delivery and Smartly. You might have to pay a little bit extra for this. You might get some free ones as well. And for this, there's also like external tools like Email Guard and a bunch of different testers. You can do this quite cheap, like maybe $5 a test or something. And you load up all your emails into the test. You put in one of your campaigns to do as like the test sent emails that they're going to send. Settings for that, I usually also enable text only, no HTML, because that's what I'm going to be sending. And then you just click run, and it'll run a placement test. It's really straightforward. And you're going to want to run it to Google inboxes, Microsoft inboxes, and other inboxes like SMTP. And that test is going to take a couple hours to do. It might take a day, and it'll give you an actual report of how your emails are doing. So I do this test every week or two. Deliverability is like honestly usually not too big of an issue. If it's already been an issue for you, like if you've already started running campaigns and deliverability is an issue right now, then you're going to want to run that more commonly. But if you're setting up new infra and deliverability hasn't been an issue, then you're usually doing pretty fine. And after that, for like when like campaign to campaign, whenever you load a lead list in, you want to verify those leads. So make sure that they're not going to bounce. And you do that with Million Verifier. They're somewhat cheap. It's like for 10,000 credits to verify 10,000 leads, it's like $37. And I think you can verify more than 10,000 leads. I think they maybe only do credit per good lead or something like that. But it's quite cheap, and it's like, you definitely need to do this. And then pause campaigns with a bounce rate of like over 5% ish. Usually the tool will do this automatically for you. You click to make sure it does this automatically. And then in your actual copy, you want to have minimal spam words, so like less than 5, ideally like 1 to 2 or 0. So if you go to mailmeteor.com, you can upload your copy and it'll show you how many spam words there are. And just a thing on copy, usually you want to do under 80 words. So if you're doing like a massive email, you spamming that to people and there's tons of spam words in there, that could be affecting your deliverability. So definitely, like even just for copywriting reasons, you want to be like under 80 words. And then spin tax copy. So if you don't know what spin tax is, you put it in double curly brackets. I think it's single curly brackets in Smart Lead. And then if you do shift backslash, it does like a line, straight line. And you have different like words that mean the same things, like synonyms, and you spin tax them. So whenever you send to different people, it'll use the different synonyms. So you do like hi, hey, hello, or you can do like can I help you? Could I help you? Or like is that okay? Would that be okay? You can spin tax different things like that. That helps for deliverability. And the things like most of these things, like you'd have to go really deep into studies to know which matters the most and which doesn't. But you should just always be doing all these things. So this is just like a no question to ask, just do it. And then nice copy, meaning you don't want people to get angry at you and to mark you as spam. So if you're like rude or you're trying to do like I don't know like weird strategies, or like if you're too pushy, and people are going to be manually marking you as spam, like you don't want that, of course. So yeah, just I mean take these all into account. I'll probably drop the link to this in the description so that you can like come back to it, remember it, and when you're setting up your campaign, just like look at this list of things, because like you need to do every single one of these. But if you do every single one of these, like there's deliverability is like 99% of the time it's gonna be fine, and you don't have to worry about like a lot of these different things. Like if you look on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, you see people saying how they have like a fully diversified infrastructure and all this like crazy shit. It doesn't really matter. Like you can land 100% inbox just by doing this. All the people that are posting this stuff usually are selling some sort of package to increase your deliverability. So they're trying to make it a pain point for you so that you buy like their tool, software, SaaS, whatever. But really just do this and your deliverability should be fine. There's other nuanced things like, if you send from Google to Google, it'll probably perform better than Google to Microsoft. Like little things like that. And there's a lot of different like slight nuance. Those usually aren't an issue. If they are, you could dig deeper. Like these are all of the things for deliverability. Like this is good for anyone. You shouldn't need to go too deep more into this. So if you need help with your campaign, something you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram. Don't book a call right away unless you want to do like consulting or something. And if you're an agency with a team, like an established agency, not someone who's just starting off with no offer, you can book a call on my calendar and we can see if you'd be good to work together. Subscribe.